We see a phrase in our Genesis text that appears 6 times in the account of creation, and that is what happened. Verses 7, 9, 11, 15, 24, and 30 of Genesis 1 all contain this phrase. According to the Jewish writer Umberto Cassuto, the phrase is a way of saying something is fixed or set, and this further undermines the arguments of evolution, for if something is fixed, it is not progressing and evolving. Throughout the biblical account, we see, "Then God said, and his creation appeared." There was no process, there was no need for time to pass, and therefore no evolution. God spoke and his creation came to be. As secular Nobel Prize winner George Wald said, "Either everything just happened on its own, or there is a creator. There are no other propositions." There are 2 stated purposes for the luminaries: to separate daytime from nighttime, and to mark seasons, days, and years. The lights, according to verse 14, were set in the sky, the firmament, the expanse that was created by separating the waters below from the waters above. Remember, God created light on day number 1, so there was light around on day number 3 when he created the vegetation that needs light. Now, on day number 4, he creates lights, plural, perhaps to sustain the light he created on day number 1. We're just not given that detail. The only difference is that the light was before dispersed, but now proceeds from lucid bodies, which in serving their purpose, obeyed the command of God. The lights not only separate day from night, but they also play roles in our months and seasons. Think about the role of the sun in determining our seasons as the earth orbits the sun: summer, fall, winter, spring. The other way lights are signs is for navigation. If you know the sky well and can see it clearly, you can steer a ship at night by the lights in the sky, the stars. Genesis 1:16, God made 2 great lights, the larger one to govern the day and the smaller one to govern the night. Verse number 16 is clearly speaking of the sun and the moon. So given what we now know about the size of the universe and other stars, why did he call these the great lights? Because the sun and the moon were the closest lights and therefore were greatest by virtue of their proximity. All other stars, planets, etc., look small by comparison. Our sun is 93 million miles away and is large enough to house 1 million objects the size of the Earth. Our sun is 93 million miles away and is large enough to house 1 million objects the size of the Earth. Our moon is roughly 238,000 miles from the Earth, is 1/4 the size of the Earth, and is outweighed by the Earth by 80 times. By the way, the idea of governing or ruling in Genesis 1:16 has nothing to do with authority, as many early pagans thought and worshiped the sun and moon god. It simply means what you think it means. When there is a light of any kind or strength, it will always dominate the darkness. He also made the stars. This may well be the most understated phrase in the entire Bible. Scientists from both Christian and secular communities agree that to count the stars would produce a number in the billions, and that count is attained before we ever look beyond our own Milky Way galaxy. Psalm 147:4, he counts the stars and calls them all by name. How great is our Lord! His power is absolute. His understanding is beyond comprehension. According to R.C. Sproul, there are only 4 options for the existence of the universe. 1. The universe is an illusion. It doesn't exist. 2. It is self-created. 3. It is self-existent and eternal. And option number 4, it was created by someone who is self-existent and eternal. Genesis 1:20, then God said, "Let the waters swarm with fish and other life. Let the skies be filled with birds of every kind." So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that scurries and swarms in the water, and every sort of bird, each producing offspring of the same kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply. Let the fish fill the seas. Let the birds multiply on the earth." And evening passed and morning came, marking the 5th day. On day number 3, we had the formation of dry land and the creation of vegetation. On day number 4, we had the creation of the sun, moon, stars, and other planets. On day number 5, we will have the filling of the seas and skies with thousands of birds and sea life species, all created in a mature, fully grown state. So just like on day 4, when the creative works of God move to a higher plane, on day 5, his creative acts elevate even more. Plants and trees are living in the sense that they can reproduce and they can die, but they are not conscious in any sense. On day number 5, God creates birds and sea life that are conscious, meaning that they can move, respond to stimuli, and interrelate to a degree. So we move on from unconscious life to conscious life. On day number 6, with the creation of man, God will add self-conscious life to the mix. Points to ponder. There was no process, there was no need for time to pass, and therefore no evolution. God spoke, and his creation came to be. The lights not only separate day from night, but they also play roles in our months and seasons. He also made the stars. This may well be the most understated phrase in the Bible. This class, and indeed the entire school, is dedicated to helping others see that God is bigger than we think and better than we know. To get to the next video, make a note of the class number for this recording, then search for the next one. Here is a sample. If this video is number L01.1, then the next one is L01.2. And remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow on Rumble.